Greetings, everyone. Someone asked me, are these practices in shifting into awareness mindfulness? It is and it is not. It is because the basics of the practices in shifting into awareness starts with mindfulness. Being mindful, being little conscious about your life, living little consciously. So that's how it goes. But that's not the end. It's very, very deep because awareness means you are awareness. You are the pure awareness. The quality of the soul is pure awareness. The soul can only know one thing. It knows only one thing, to be aware. It's just conscious. It's just alive. So we are tapping into that zone of being alive. And we use this faculty to transcend the egoic tendencies, the transcend the body consciousness, which otherwise is very difficult. Because normally we do practices and then we forget about the whole thing. We forget even about our evolution. We forget about our goals, the purpose of which we began spiritual life. So, life of awareness keeps you updated, keeps you on your toes, keeps you always very conscious of what life is about and what your purpose of life is without forgetting it. And the aims of the practice in shifting into awareness is not just to be happy with spiritual living, getting boons and getting blessings and getting gifts of all kinds from here and there, either from God or from deities or from spirituality or some practices or puja, rituals. It doesn't just end there. It's all good, but it doesn't end there. It goes beyond all these things. It goes beyond even the duality. So normally if we move on the spiritual path, you will see the duality doesn't go very easily. And we are caught up in the samsara, so-called worldly, whereas spirituality is actually to bring you out of it. So living a very conscious life of awareness keeps you always afloat. The samsara, afloat the egoic tendencies, afloat the catches and lures of Maya. That's what is needed. So it begins first with being aware of consciously of your surroundings, of your body. It begins with the body. And mindfulness uses the five senses. Whereas the shifting into awareness transcends the five senses eventually and moves into the sixth sense. Then it becomes all about operating from this zone. And this zone is the sixth sense. This is your intuition. This is awareness. This is where the seat of intellect is. And then your life is governed more through awareness. Awareness guides you consciously. See, you are pure awareness. That's your tattva. You are actually awareness. But you can't be aware easily of that awareness, of the soul, self. So first we use the mind's awareness and become aware of who we are and who we are not. What thoughts are real and what thoughts are not. What is real in this samsara and what is not. The viveka, the buddhi, starts getting activated and it keeps you afloat all the time. So you can be in the world yet not in the world. And that's where the success of spirituality is. So it begins with the senses and then it transcends the senses. Once it begins transcending the senses, we will see that from our body awareness, from our internal body awareness, external body awareness, our surrounding awareness, awareness starts seeping into subtle properties. The subtle world, it begins entering into the subtle world. We have got a subtle world within. So as you deepen, you become more and more aware of the higher realms, which is nothing but within you. As you start becoming aware of those higher realms, your life starts changing massively. You have a total inner transformation happening, an inner evolution happening. And it's very palpable. It can be felt, it can be known by yourself, and by the people who live around you. It's very, very noticeable. You become more and more neutral. You become less and less involved in the world and its run. You become less and less involved in the cosmic play, the cosmic drama. You start withdrawing from all the dramas of your life and become more centered. It's not running away from these dramas, I'm saying. You simply lose interest in these dramas. And when you lose interest, you become more and more still, nischala. As you become nischala, you become peaceful and contented. And then you settle down into the being. The doing stops. When the doing stops, all the practices and all your running around will stop. The doership will stop. The claims and the feeling that I am doing this or I am responsible. I need this, I need that. What will happen to me? What about me? What about mine? Me and mine starts drastically reducing. Because please understand, until the me and mine reduces, you're not going anywhere ahead in spirituality. This has to go. It has to go from internally, not philosophically. So most of the spirituality is about our spiritual gyan that we have. We follow a lot of preachings and teachings, but we can't experience and realize those teachings. We know it by heart. A big difference. So when you start living a life of awareness, you realize the teachings of your master. You realize the teachings of great noble ones, enlightened beings. You realize what is there in the great scriptures. You realize and begin experiencing the secrets in those scriptures. Your life becomes very blissful, cheerful. You have inner freedom. There's a kind of blissful freedom that you have. You're free and you're not tied up with anything, anyone. And no one or nothing can tie up with you. Nothing can entangle you because you are fully a conscious being. Remember this. You get entangled in the world and with people and things only when you are unconscious. When you are ignorant. Avidya. But when you constantly, all the time, 24/7 live in this beautiful awareness, you are aware of who you are. The problem begins when you don't know who you are. If you start believing I am this particular being, this personality, this individuality, then you are getting stuck in all kind of problems. And all kind of challenges come and all kind of karmic fruits get into the loop. So, shifting into awareness is first beginning to be very, very conscious of your own body within. And we can see in the practices as we become more and more aware. Healing begins happening from within. Well-being starts taking over without doing anything. Just being, because when you are in the being, you are just in alignment with the nature. Alignment with everything that is. You don't have to create anything artificial for yourself. When you are in the doing, you need to do a lot of things. Morning to evening you got to do. And you can see the people who are practicing the shifting into awareness for the past 2-3 years. All the doing is gone. They are simply awake and simply cheerful and happy to be alive and living their life completely. Life has a new meaning, different meaning. When you are so settled down and there is nothing to do, nothing to be so responsible about, nothing to take so overwhelmingly all the responsibilities on your head and move about in burden, all the burdens go. So as you start settling down, one by one, everything starts settling down. But you don't lose your responsibility from life, because being is being responsible. Just being in your being, you automatically become responsible for not just me and mine, but even the larger aspects of life. You become very responsible, not by taking responsibility, that is a doer. These responsibility just becomes your natural happening. Even your family, your friends, your relatives, your people, your so-called chores and paying the bills and earning for yourself, all those things, okay. But you enjoy it. Now there's a new flavor. Ask the people who are practicing it. I don't make these testimonies and all that, but if you have an opportunity to be in our webinars, you will see the people saying, and most of the webinars you can see people are dazed out. they are fully aware and awake and meditative awareness. They enter very easily into dhyana and samadhi. You can check it out. For hours together, they can sit in samadhi. Ask the people here in Tirunamalai who comes. At least those who have been practicing it for some time, they have stilled. Nischala Tattva is coming. When you are Nischala only, you can move towards your soul. And that is where the actual journey begins. Then after a certain time, after achieving this kind of a freedom and blissful awareness, then when everything is done with you, from inside only start pondering, who am I? Then you want to realize, you want to experience, who is this who is experiencing this awareness? Who is this or what is this that is becoming aware of my body, my subtle things and all these things? And then the Asli Yatra, the real Yatra begins, deepening within. Then you start becoming aware of the one who is aware, and that one is you, the self. It's a very interesting journey. It simplifies. All the people in the Western world, Westerners, they came to me there and they are now attending one day Tirunamalai. Whenever I'm there, one day they come for the retreat. And they say now it is helping them towards self-inquiry. So they are doing these practices. So if you like to learn about awareness, all the basics to the whole thing, we are doing this on 16th, Sunday, 16th July. And it's from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. And for those in the Western zone who cannot be live, we can arrange for the simultaneous live or even the recordings. But it is important that you learn it basically. Last time we had a great time. So those who already know can deepen your experience in this practice that we are going to do, learning that we are going to learn. And those who are new, this is an opportunity for you to catch and experiment and find out. And if you find it is working in your life, carry on with it. And you will come to know how you just become settled. And all the doings are of no use. You just give up all the doings. And then nothing is needed. And this is for mature seekers, because after a certain stage only, after Chitta Shuddhi happens, after some Nischalta begins happening, only they can settle down. So this is inviting those people who feel they are ready, instead of all the doing and running about, who are ready to settle and sit down and experience and have deeper experiences. Not just philosophical understanding of all these tattvas, but now an opportunity to experience what is this. All that we learn about non-duality, awareness, consciousness, the self. So you're most welcome. Anytime you feel, you can register. This link is here. This Sunday we are catching up. Stay blessed. Lots of divine love and light to you.